Every big win you've celebrated, it's already working against you. I know that sounds pessimistic. It's not. It's actually the most optimistic thing I can tell you. Because once you understand what's happening, you stop being a victim of it. Most people think success and failure are opposites. Success feels good, so you want more of it. Failure feels bad, so you avoid it. This is the trap. This is why high performers stay high performers, and why most people get stuck on a treadmill of false confidence, followed by brutal collapse. The ancient masters understood something we've forgotten. Success and failure aren't opposites. They're two halves of the same cycle. And the real skill isn't choosing one over the other. It's harvesting the transition point, the exact moment when one shifts into the other. Here's what I've found after working with hundreds of high performers. The ones who sustain dominance don't manage success and failure equally. They do something counterintuitive. They extract power from the turning points. Let me show you exactly how this works. Step 1. Recognize success as a warning signal. When you win, your brain releases dopamine. This is good, but it does something else too. It closes you off. You start believing the narrative you just created. You think, this strategy worked, so keep doing it. This approach is correct, so don't change it. This team is firing, so let them keep firing. This is where the collapse begins. Why? Because the market, your competition, your circumstances, they're all shifting. Success freezes you in position exactly when the environment is moving. In Taoist terms, yang, expansion, confidence, assertiveness, has peaked. Yin, contraction, caution, receptivity, is about to enter. Most winners ignore this. They keep pushing yang when it's already turning. The high performers I know, they do something different. The moment they win, they ask, what's about to change? Not, did I do well, but what am I blind to right now? This single question keeps them sharp. It doesn't diminish the win, it protects it. Here's the common mistake people make at this step. They think questioning success means lacking confidence. It's the opposite. Confidence is knowing you can survive the shift. Fragility is assuming the game won't change. But there's a problem. Knowing you should question success doesn't mean you will. Dopamine is powerful. Your brain wants to stay in that feeling. That's why you need the second step. Step 2. Build your failure extraction protocol. Failure is coming, not maybe, coming. This isn't pessimism, it's mathematics. No strategy works forever. No market position is permanent. No team stays hungry indefinitely. The yin-yang principle says, when you reach maximum yang, yin returns. Failure doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human and you're operating in a living system. So here's what I want you to do when you fail. And I mean seriously fail, the kind that stings. Instead of going into damage control mode, pause. I mean actually pause. Notice your breathing. Feel the tightness in your chest. This is important because this exact moment, this discomfort, is when your system is most receptive to learning. You're no longer attached to being right. You're open. Somatic bridge. Take a breath right now, just one. Notice how your body immediately shifts when you're not in threat mode. That's the state you need to be in when failure hits. Remember this feeling. When you fail, ask 3 questions. First, what assumption was I wrong about? Not what went wrong, what did I assume was true that wasn't? This takes you from blame to insight. Second, what was I refusing to see? High performers miss things not because they're stupid, but because success made them confident. What were the early warnings you ignored? Most failures have a 3-month warning signal that goes unheeded. Third, what can I do differently starting today? Not next week, today. This gives your nervous system the signal that you have agency again. The common mistake here is going too deep into self-blame. You weren't stupid, you were human. You got attached to a winning narrative. Now you're extracting the value from the loss. That's maturity, not weakness. But here's what changes everything. And this is where most people miss it. Step 3. Use failure as your competitive advantage. This is the part that separates the people who recover from failure versus the people who get stuck in the cycle. When you fail, you have something your successful competitors don't: urgency and clarity. Your brain is no longer clouded by the dopamine of success. You see what isn't working with perfect clarity. This is valuable. This is an advantage. Most people waste it. They use the failure as a reason to panic and make desperate moves. The high performers, they use it as a flashlight in a dark room. Here's the process. Take what you learned from the failure, the real insight, not the story you tell yourself, and weaponize it. Don't waste time grieving the loss. Move it into action. The market just showed you where you were wrong. This is data. Treat it like data. Notice the speed here. Most people take weeks or months to emotionally process failure. By then, the advantage has evaporated. High performers move from failure to insight to action in days. The yin energy, introspection, contraction, stays sharp. They don't let it drag them into depression. They ride it into clarity, and then they execute. The common mistake at this stage: trying to apply the lesson everywhere. You learned something specific. Use it specifically. Don't overgeneralize and make paranoid decisions about your entire operation. The lesson is targeted, not universal. But there's something deeper happening in these 3 steps. Let me connect this back to what makes it actually work. Step 4. The momentum harvest, where success becomes fuel. Most people think of success and failure as states. You're either successful or failing, but high performers think of them as movements. Success is the moment yang is rising. Failure is the moment yin is entering. The real skill isn't maintaining either state, it's harvesting the transition. Think about it this way. When you're in deep success, you have resources, but no urgency. When you're in failure, you have urgency, but fewer resources. The transition points, that's where both exist simultaneously. That's where innovation happens. That's where the best decisions get made. The yin-yang symbol doesn't show balanced halves sitting still. It shows them in motion, each containing a seed of the other. Success contains the seed of complacency. Failure contains the seed of breakthrough. But the motion itself, the transition from one to the other, that's where the power lives. What I mean is this: the moment you recognize success is turning into danger, you're already one step ahead of 99% of people. The moment you recognize failure is containing valuable information, you've turned it into fuel. You're not managing the cycles, you're harvesting them. Most people get exhausted by the cycles because they're trying to stay in the good part. They can't, neither can you. But you can get sharp about using the turning points. Here's what changes. You stop being afraid of failure because you see it coming and you know how to extract from it. You stop getting complacent with success because you're already looking at what's shifting. You're not managing 2 opposite states anymore. You're flowing through them with intention. This is what the ancient masters meant when they talked about Wu Wei, effortless action. It's not about doing nothing, it's about moving with the current instead of against it. Taoism doesn't say ignore failure or ignore success. It says stop resisting the cycle and learn to move through it. The person who does this becomes the person who looks unflappable in both seasons. Not because they're emotionless, but because they understand something most people don't. Every movement contains its opposite. Every peak has built-in descent. Every valley has built-in rise. The skill is seeing the shift before it's obvious and positioning yourself in the transition. That's the process. That's how yin-yang actually works in real life, not as philosophy, but as a mechanism for staying sharp through both success and failure. You don't need to choose between celebrating wins and preparing for losses. You need to develop the practice of reading the transitions. And once you do, you stop being victims of cycles. You start being navigators of them. The ancient masters understood this. The high performers I know operate from this. And now you see the mechanism clearly. Start today. Next time you have a win, don't just celebrate. Ask, what am I missing? Next time you have a loss, don't just suffer. Ask, what data just arrived? That's the practice. That's how you harvest the transitions. Your cycles won't disappear. You don't want them to. They're the engine of growth, but you can stop being thrown around by them. That's the real power of understanding yin and yang. If this helped, hit like, subscribe, and keep it simple. See you tomorrow.